The wind blew gently over the dusty red plains of Zeral 3. Once a living world, now only sand and silence remained. But deep beneath that silence, something waited. A small team of alien archaeologists stood near the entrance of an ancient ruin. They were Zarn, thin, tall beings with long fingers and glowing eyes. Their leader, Archivist Doro, looked over the site with quiet excitement. "This place is untouched," he said softly. The others nodded. Cracks in the ground had revealed stone structures buried deep under layers of dust and time. Strange. Patterns were carved on the walls, sharp angles, curved symbols, and something that looked like writing but in no known language. "It feels wrong," one of the younger researchers, Levo, whispered. He glanced around. Too quiet. Doro smiled. "That's the sound of discovery." They entered slowly, flashlights cutting through the darkness. The walls inside were tall and smooth, unlike anything the Zarn had ever seen. Their scanning tools beeped and flickered. No signs of life, no radiation, just silence. And then came the sound. A whisper, soft, barely there. Everyone stopped. The light from Levo's scanner flickered again. "Did anyone hear that?" he asked. "I thought it was the wind," Doro replied, though his voice had lost its calm. "We're underground. There should be no wind." The whisper came again, clearer now, like words spoken far away through a thick wall. One of the crew, a nervous female named Rika, pointed at a wall. "There. Something's humming." Doro approached. As he touched the surface, the wall lit up. A glowing blue line ran across it, forming shapes, letters. The translator couldn't read them. The screen on Doro's device blinked. Unrecognized language. Then the lights flickered through the hallway. "I think we just activated something," Levo said. He took a step back. Another whisper, louder this time. This time it wasn't soft. It was a command. "Authorization required." The team froze. "What was that?" Rika shouted. "It spoke," Doro said, eyes wide. "The wall. It asked for authorization." They didn't understand the words, but somehow, deep inside, it felt like a warning. They moved deeper into the structure. The walls had changed now, metallic, smooth. Lights flickered on ahead of them one by one, as if guiding them. Levo's scanner beeped rapidly. "There's a sealed chamber up ahead. Strong power source inside. Very strong." They reached a door unlike anything they'd seen before. Heavy. Silver. Marked with a strange logo, a circle with stars and lines across it. Rika pointed. "That symbol, I've seen it before. Old star maps. It's from the lost records of Earth." "Impossible," Doro said. "Humanity disappeared thousands of cycles ago. They were just a myth." "No," Rika whispered. "Not a myth. We just never found them." Doro stepped closer to the door. There was no handle, no keyhole, just a small panel with a faint red light. He reached out. The panel turned green. The door hissed and opened. Beyond it was a chamber filled with machines. Screens blinked to life. The air inside was cold, too cold for comfort. But the machines had power. Everything here was still running. And in the center of the room, a tall metal platform with strange capsules lined in rows. "What are those?" Levo asked, stepping forward carefully. Rika moved closer to one of the capsules. Her hands shook as she wiped dust off the glass. Inside was a figure. Pale skin, short hair, eyes closed. No breathing, but no decay either. "A living being," she whispered, "in deep sleep." Doro scanned the capsule. Cryostasis. Perfect condition. Levo pointed at another one, then another, dozens of them, all holding the same kind of being. "Humans," he said. "We found them." Then a sharp sound echoed in the chamber. A warning light blinked. One of the capsules hissed, releasing cold mist into the air. The glass opened slowly. Rika stepped back. It's waking up. The being inside stirred. Fingers moved. Eyes slowly opened. Sharp, alert, intelligent. The human sat up. He looked around. Not confused, not scared, just calm, focused. His voice was deep and steady. Status? He asked. The machines responded. Lights turned brighter. Panels showed green systems. He stood up, tall and strong. Doro tried to speak, but no words came out. The human looked at him and tilted his head. Then he glanced around at the others. You're not from Earth, he said slowly. You're not my crew. His hand moved to a panel beside the capsule. He pressed something, and a map appeared. On the wall, a star chart. It showed planets, battle lines, and symbols unknown to the aliens. He stared at the map for a moment, then spoke again. If I'm awake, then the galaxy isn't safe anymore. No one moved. No one spoke. The human looked back at them. Tell me, what year is it? Doro finally found his voice. 12,000 standard cycles since Earth vanished. The human's face changed. Not fear, not anger, just understanding. Then they've forgotten us, he said softly. Good. That means the others are still hidden. What others? Levo asked. The human looked at them all. His eyes calm but sharp like a blade. You're not ready for this, he said. He turned back to the control panel and entered a code. Far beneath the chamber, something began to shake. Engines. Waking up. The dust of Xeral 3 was no longer silent, and the galaxy would never be the same again. A dark ship floated above Xeral 3, silent, watching. Inside the human base, warning lights continued to blink. Commander Jace Ward stood near the main console, his eyes fixed on the orbit feed. He could see the strange probe circling the planet, its long arms scanning the surface slowly, carefully. The Council is watching us, he said quietly. Rika stepped beside him. But why would they care about a dead world? Jace didn't answer at first. His mind was moving fast, too fast. Behind him, the second human, Commander Reyna Voss, was checking a weapons locker that had opened from the wall. Inside were metallic cases marked with Earth's old military symbols. We need to assume they know, she said. And if they know, they'll act. Doro's voice trembled slightly. The Galactic Council is powerful. If they think you're a threat, they always thought that, Jace replied. Even when we were silent. In the center of the room, the last cryopod opened. A tall man with cybernetic implants stepped out. His left eye glowed red, scanning everything quickly. Status report? He asked. Target planet compromised, Reyna said. First contact with Zarn team. Possible Council surveillance in orbit. The man nodded. Then we proceed with Code Black. Jace raised a hand. No, not yet. The man turned his head slowly. They'll send a fleet, Jace. You know they will. Let them, Jace said. We need to understand the galaxy, now. What's changed? What remained? Levo, standing near the holographic map, pointed at several blinking signals. These are your hidden bases? Yes, Reyna said. Each one buried like this, each with its own team. But only some have power. Most are still dark. Doro stepped forward carefully. Why hide all this? Why vanish? Jace looked him in the eyes. Because we fought a war no one else knew about. We fought enemies older than memory itself. And when we won, we decided not to rule. We left. Quietly. Completely. And now? Rika asked. Now we decide if we return, Jace answered. Suddenly the base shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Red lights flashed. Unidentified energy pulse. Planet surface. The system announced. Jace ran to the console. Show me. Screen appeared showing a section of Xeral 3 several kilometers away. A hole had opened in the ground. Something was rising, black, metallic, with glowing blue engines. A drone tower, Jace said in surprise. One of ours, it survived. Shouldn't it stay dormant? Reyna asked. Jace nodded slowly. Yes, unless it was triggered. Rika's scanner beeped. She looked confused. I'm picking up a second signal. Not human, not Zarn. Something strange. The tall cybernetic human frowned. Something else has found this place. Outside in the red dust, shadows moved. Something watched from the cliffs. Cloaked. Hidden. Its body shimmered like glass. Tall, thin, and insect-like. It made no sound. Just observed. Inside, Levo's voice broke the silence. We weren't followed, but something is here now. Jace stared at the map. The probes, the sudden reactivation. We're not just being watched. We're being hunted, Reyna said. The base rumbled again. Rika screamed, pointing at the hologram. It's landing. A strange vessel, curved and sharp, descended near the dig site. It didn't look like any council ship. It was darker, more alien. As it touched the ground, it released a high-pitched frequency that made the walls of the base hum. The humans moved quickly. Guns appeared from panels in the wall. Armored suits unlocked and powered up. Jace turned to the Zarn team. You need to leave. No, Doro said. We started this. We stay. Jace gave a faint smile. You've got courage. Reyna tossed. Rika a small device. Emergency cloak. Use it if things go wrong. What are they? Levo asked. The ones landing outside? We don't know, Jace said. But if they're here, they either remember us or want to erase what's left. The cybernetic soldier tapped a control panel. Activating outer defense ring. Let's see if our toys still bite. The humans moved like a trained team, silent, fast, focused. In moments, the old base turned into a fortress. Outside, the strange enemy ship opened. 6 figures stepped out. Tall, insect-like beings. No weapons visible, but their movement was smooth, unnatural. They glided more than walked. One of them raised a long finger and pointed at the ground. A strange pulse shot into the earth, and from under the sand, something massive responded. They're trying to disable our systems, Reyna said, checking the scans. Smart. Then we hit first, Jace said calmly. He stepped to the outer doors. The humans followed. Doro tried to speak, but Reyna turned to him. You're not soldiers. Stay here. We'll deal with this. And then they left, walking into the red light of the alien sun. What happened next would be remembered by the galaxy. Even if no one survived to tell the tale, the red wind blew across the old plains of Zeral 3. Fine dust rose in the air like smoke. Commander Jace Ward stood in front of the base, armor powered up, eyes fixed on the alien ship. The 6 insect-like creatures didn't speak. They simply stood there, watching. Their long limbs didn't move. Their bodies shimmered like heat over fire, almost transparent. They looked alive, but not natural. Reyna Voss stepped beside Jace. They're not Council. I know, Jace said. The third human, Kellen, the cybernetic soldier, stood behind them. His red eye blinked once. Energy scan complete. No known signatures. These are something new, or something very, very old. Inside the base, Rika watched through a camera feed. Her heart was racing. What are those things? She whispered. Doro shook his head. Not from any records we've seen, not even ancient ones. Levo added, they moved like shadows. But the way they scanned the ground, they knew what they were looking for. Outside, the creatures finally moved. One of them raised a thin hand. A sphere of crackling energy appeared above its palm. It floated for a second, then shot forward like lightning. Jace didn't blink. He stepped sideways, and the blast missed him by inches. It hit the ground behind him, melting the sand into glass. Reyna activated her armor's shield. That was a warning. No, Jace said coldly. That was a test. He raised his left arm. A panel slid open. Engaging response. From the ground around them, hidden turrets burst from the sand, ancient human tech that had slept for thousands of years. They locked onto the creatures in seconds. The alien figures didn't run. Instead, they each split, literally. Their bodies shimmered and divided into copies. Now there were 12, then 24, shadows becoming more shadows. Targets, multiplying, Kellen said. Adjusting fire. The turrets opened fire. Silent blue energy bolts lit up the plains. Explosions shook the ground. Dust flew everywhere. But the shadows kept moving. They moved through the blasts like water through cracks. Some were hit and vanished. Others kept coming. Inside the base, Rika watched the feed turn into chaos. They're surrounding them. Doro tapped the comm unit. Jace, fall back, get inside. But the humans didn't fall back. Jace moved like he had done this 1,000 times. His arm turned into a plasma cannon. With every shot, another shadow fell. Reyna flew up using her jetpack, firing from above. Kellen's body transformed, blades and guns appearing from his limbs. They were outnumbered, but not outmatched. Still, the shadows kept coming. From the alien ship, a larger figure stepped out. It was taller than the others, with a dark crystal embedded in its chest. It didn't attack. It simply watched. Jace saw it and paused. That's the real one. Reyna nodded. The rest are projections. Kellen adjusted his aim. Suggest, direct strike, do it, Jace said. Kellen raised his arm. A beam of white energy charged. Just as he fired, everything stopped. The shadow leader raised a hand, and Kellen froze. Not just him, his whole body turned solid, locked in place. His systems went silent. Kellen's down, Reyna shouted. Jace growled. EMP? No, something else. Psychic lock? He ran forward, dodging blasts. He reached Kellen's frozen body and pushed him behind cover. The shadow leader began walking toward him now, and then it spoke. Its voice wasn't loud. It echoed directly into Jace's mind. You were supposed to sleep forever. Jace clenched, his jaw. Guess we missed the alarm. The silence war was not your victory, the voice said. It was our plan. Reyna heard it too. Her armor flickered as the psychic message spread. You erased your own past, you buried yourselves, but we waited. Inside memory. Inside dust. Jace stepped forward. You're not council. You're not from this cycle. We are what comes after memory, the voice replied, and we do not forget. The crystal on its chest began to glow. Inside the base, warning systems screamed. Rika's scanner turned red. Energy buildup, massive. They're about to fire something. Huge. Doro turned to her. Can we block it? No, she said, but maybe we can wake someone who can. She ran to the console. There was one more cryopod in a locked chamber, sealed and marked E-Class protocol. Do not open without global threat level. Rika hit the override. The chamber hissed. Inside was a man, older than the others. His body was covered in battle, scars. His arms were half machine. His rank showed something higher than commander. His eyes opened. He sat up. What cycle is this? He asked. Rika stepped back. Unknown, but we need you. Outside, the crystal on the shadow leader's chest exploded into light. Jace closed his eyes, bracing for death. Then, a pulse. Everything stopped. Even the shadows froze. The new human had arrived, and with him came the weight of Earth's forgotten power. Silence fell over the battlefield. The dust in the air hung still, frozen like time had stopped. The crystal light faded from the shadow leader's chest. Commander Jace looked up. His ears rang. His vision blurred for a moment, but then he saw it. The man from the final cryopod stepped onto the field. He wasn't wearing armor. He didn't need it. His presence alone made the shadows pause. Rika's voice came through the comm. Jace, the man we woke, he's not just a soldier, he's something else. Jace already knew. He stood. Name and rank? The man looked at him with cold, focused eyes. General Cale Vorn, Earth Strategic Command, Silence War Division. Reyna's eyes widened. That's impossible. You vanished during the final assault. They said you died on the Orion line. Kyle gave a slight smile. History lies. I volunteered for deeper sleep, in case something like this returned. He stepped forward, calmly, like the field was his to walk. The shadow leader didn't move. You are late, General, the voice echoed in Kyle's mind. Cale didn't respond with words. He raised his hand slowly. Lines of light formed around his fingers. Tech fused deep into his bones. Ancient code ran across his skin like living circuits. I remember you, he said quietly. You're not aliens. You're not from another species. Reyna blinked. What? Cale continued, eyes locked on the leader. They're what we built. Weapons, AI constructs, made during the First War, hidden when we feared what they might become. You feared yourselves, the shadow voice replied, so you buried us. And it worked, Cale said, until now. The shadows twitched. Jay stepped beside Cale. You're saying we made these things? Yes, Cale said. Before we left the galaxy. Before we went silent. These were prototypes, designed to fight without fear, without rest, without mercy. Doro and Levo listened from the base. Levo whispered. They built their own monsters. Cale turned his palm upward. A soft pulse shot out. The shadow copies began shaking. Their forms cracked, flickering like broken glass. In seconds, half of them vanished. The leader stumbled slightly. Still, too late, it growled. We are not few. We are the forgotten will. And you are extinct. Cale's eyes narrowed. Then I'll remind you what extinction really looks like. He slammed his hand into the dirt. The ground pulsed. A shockwave spread out across the plains. Blue and white energy dancing through the sand. All remaining shadow constructs shattered. Only the leader remained. Its body cracked. Dark smoke leaked from its arms. Cale walked forward. The leader tried to retreat, but its legs failed. Cale stood over it. No more hiding, he said. We are eternal. It began. Cale crushed the crystal on its chest with one sharp stomp. The figure let out a silent scream, and then turned to ash. Everyone stared. Even the sky felt calmer now. The alien ship behind the shadows began to melt, its structure breaking down as if it had never existed. Jace spoke first. That was terrifying, Reyna added, and impressive. Cale turned around slowly. This is just the beginning. Inside the base, Rika finally breathed again. The energy pulse is gone, all hostile signals zero. Levo looked at Doro. What have we found here? Doro shook his head. Not just humans. We found their ghosts, their weapons, and now their war. Kyle entered the base with Jace, and Reyna. He looked around, studying the equipment, the surviving systems. You've reactivated a deep facility, he said. That will send signals. Not just to the Council, but others too. The ones who watched Earth fall silent. Reyna asked, was Earth really abandoned? Or is there more? Kyle paused. Earth was never truly empty. We just closed the door. Locked it behind layers of time. He pressed a control panel. A hidden wall opened. Inside was a chamber filled with black spheres, each one humming quietly. Jace's eyes widened. Are those? Yes, Kyle said. Tesseract cores, fold space, gates. We use them to move across the stars. Instant jump capability. The Council never knew. Rika entered the room, followed by Doro and Levo. Cale turned to them. Now that we're awake, it's time to check if Earth is still standing. Jace frowned. You think something's wrong? Cale nodded. If these things woke up, it means something far worse might already be moving. Reyna whispered. Like what? Cale looked up at the dusty ceiling, as if seeing through the planet itself. There were greater weapons, We locked away, he said, on far-off worlds, inside collapsing suns, in dead zones of the galaxy. If even one has been breached. He didn't finish, but everyone in the room felt the weight of what he meant. Kyle touched the panel again. One of the black spheres rose from the floor and began glowing. Prep the core, Kale ordered. We're going back. Jace took a deep breath. To Earth. Back to where it all began. The air around the black sphere twisted like hot metal. The tesseract core came to life, humming louder, until a silent flash spread through the room. The fold space, gate had opened. Gate is stable, Rika said. Coordinates set for Sol system. Jace stared at the spinning energy portal. Earth. After all these years, General Kale nodded. Time to see what's left of home. Reyna adjusted her armor. If the old weapons are waking up, Earth might be next, or already under attack. Kale's eyes stayed sharp. If Earth is gone, we fall back to Mars, or Titan. But if Earth is still alive, we fight to protect it. Levo, who had never even seen a planet with oceans, asked softly, "What if Earth doesn't remember you?" Kale gave a dry smile. Then we'll remind them who we are. The humans stepped into the tesseract gate. There was no sound, no pain, just a blink, and they were gone. When they reappeared, the cold wind of deep space hit them. They were standing inside a hidden orbital station hovering near Saturn. Its systems lit up as the humans arrived. Old systems, human-made, forgotten by time, recognized Kale's DNA and powered on. "Welcome, General Vorn," said a mechanical voice. "Sol, defense net initializing. Earth signal status, unusual." Kale frowned. "Unusual how?" "Earth surface communications silent. No response for 12 years. Everyone froze. Reyna whispered, 12 years? Jace stared at the holographic globe in front of them. Earth spun quietly. Blue, green, still beautiful, but dark. No beacons, Kyle said. No satellites, no orbit patrols. It's like the planet shut itself off, or someone forced it, Jace said darkly. Kale turned toward the launch bay. "Get us a dropship, we're going down." In minutes, the team boarded a sleek old human vessel, the Valiant Dawn. It looked rough, but the moment Kale stepped aboard, its engines purred to life like it had been waiting for him. As they dropped through Earth's atmosphere, silence filled the cabin. Even the engine noise felt distant. Then they saw it. Earth was not destroyed, but it had changed. Massive towers of metal rose from the oceans. Strange black rings hovered in the sky. Entire cities floated above the clouds, clearly human-made, but using tech none of them recognized. Reyna blinked. "That's not old Earth, that's, Jace finished her sentence. "Something new." Kale stared with narrowed eyes. They evolved. The ship landed near the old Eurasia sector. What used to be Moscow was now a massive energy field, blocking scans, radar, even visuals. But near its edge stood something unexpected. A person. A single human dressed in dark armor standing calmly with hands behind their back. As the team stepped out, the figure spoke. "You are early." Kyle walked forward. "Who are you?" "Thou." Figure removed their helmet. It was a young woman, maybe 30. Her eyes glowed faintly. "I'm Commander Ellen Rhodes," she said. "You're standing on protected ground. State your origin." Jace stepped beside Kale. "We're from the Silence Division, pre-fall era. Deep sleep protocol. This is General Vorn." Ellen nodded slowly. "We heard rumors that some of you survived, but we didn't expect a return." "Not now." Kyle frowned. "Why is Earth silent?" "Because we made it that way," she said. "The Council tried to come back, tried to take what we rebuilt, so we hid. We wiped all comms, shut all signals. Let them believe Earth was dead." Reyna asked, "So Earth survived in secret?" Ellen nodded. "Not just survived. We advanced beyond what even the old Earth imagined." Kyle stepped closer. Then we need to talk. Something else has awakened. On 03, Shadow Tech, the ones we locked away. Ellen's face went serious. Then we were right to remain hidden. Those shadows were just the first wave. Kyle raised an eyebrow. There's more? She turned and pointed toward the sky. Something is coming, she said. We don't know its name, but even the council fled. We found pieces of their fleets, burned, scattered, destroyed by something they couldn't fight. Jace whispered, and Earth is next? Ellen nodded. Unless we bring back the one thing that once scared the galaxy. Kale narrowed his eyes. What's that? Ellen looked him dead in the eyes. Human unity. Behind her, massive gates opened, revealing an army unlike anything Jace, Reyna, or even Kale had ever seen. Humans in black and silver armor, ships shaped like blades, drones glowing with artificial intelligence, and weapons powered by quantum storms. Kale took a slow breath. They were not returning to Earth to protect it. They had returned to rejoin it. Thunder echoed from beyond Earth's orbit. Massive distortions in space began to ripple across the sky. The stars twisted like water. And then, they arrived. Dark vessels, colossal, silent, covered in strange spines that pulsed with cold blue energy. They weren't ships from the Council. They weren't from any known species. Even Kale didn't recognize them. In the hidden command center deep beneath Earth's new capital, alarms were flashing red. Ellen stood before a curved glass wall, watching the sky. They've come earlier than expected, she said. Kyle nodded. They followed the signal. From Zeral 3. When the shadows died, these things woke up. Reyna studied the ships on the holographic screen. They don't broadcast signals, no language, no warnings. Jace frowned. What are they waiting for? Kale's eyes were dark. They're scanning, measuring us, deciding if we're worth destroying. Outside, Earth's upgraded defense grid began charging. Giant towers along the oceans lit up with golden arcs of energy. Old satellites reactivated. New weapons came online, but still, those alien ships didn't move. They're not afraid, Ellen said quietly. They should be, Kyle replied. In Earth's central hall, thousands of soldiers stood in formation. Some were human, some cybernetic, some entirely AI, but all loyal to one banner, Earth. Kale walked past them with Ellen. You rebuilt more than just cities, he said. We had no choice, Ellen answered. After the collapse, survivors gathered in silence. We hid, we rebuilt, and we swore. If anyone ever came to finish us, they'd find something far stronger than what they remembered. Suddenly, a deep hum filled the sky. Above the Earth, the alien ships moved, not with fire, but with silence. One of them opened, revealing a swirling mass of living darkness. A storm of strange black matter began falling toward the planet. Jace shouted, They're not attacking with weapons, they're sending something else. Reyna zoomed in on the feed, her face went pale. Those are seeds? Kale stepped forward. Not seeds, invasion spores, biocode weapons. They rewrite matter, turn metal into flesh, flesh into dust. Ellen slammed her hand on a console. Deploy the first wall. Across Earth, massive. Sky domes activated. Defensive shields rose like golden bubbles over cities, islands, and floating platforms. Giant drones shot into the atmosphere to intercept the falling spores. But it wasn't enough. One spore broke through near an ocean dome. It hit the ground, and it grew. Faster than any weapon they'd ever seen, the spore unfolded into a massive, insect-like machine 10 stories tall. It let out a deep, unnatural sound that rattled the air itself. Kale saw it from the command feed. That's their scout, he said. Their test. The creature began tearing through structures. No weapon could slow it. Ellen turned to Kale. You said the Silence Division held more than shadows, more than cryo-soldiers. Kyle gave a slow nod. It's time to open the vault. Deep under the Eurasia mountain range, a massive steel door unsealed. Inside, 13 silver cylinders stood in silence, each taller than a building. One by one they opened. Inside were humans, but not ordinary. Each one wore armor fused into their bodies. Their eyes glowed with starlight. They were not soldiers. They were Earth's last gods of war. The last Echo operatives. Made for extinction-level threats. Kale watched them step into the light. They didn't speak. They simply moved to the launch bays. Above, the alien creature moved toward a city dome. Then, something struck it, a blur, then another. In seconds, the monster was in pieces, not burned, not shot, just gone. The Echo operatives moved like shadows, like storms, faster than sound, stronger than gravity. The alien ships paused. They had never seen resistance like this. Kale smiled. Jace whispered, "They're afraid." Reyna added, "For the first time." Kale turned to Ellen. "Let's show them what they forgot." Ellen gave a command. "Open the gate." Far in orbit, hidden from view, a final weapon powered up. A fold cannon. A weapon that compressed space into a beam so tight it could erase stars. Kyle aimed it at the lead alien vessel. He gave them one last moment. No reply. He fired. Light bent. Time screamed, and the alien ship ceased to exist. The others began to pull back, slowly, uncertainly. But Earth didn't stop. This time it wasn't defending. This time it advanced. Kale gave the order. "Activate the arc fleets, we're not hiding anymore." All across Earth, ancient ships hidden under mountains, seas, and skies rose, each one powered by forgotten tech, each one hungry for justice. As Earth roared back into the stars, one final message was broadcast not just to the enemy, but to the entire galaxy. Humanity is not a story from the past. We are the storm you prayed would never return.